Okay, good.
No.
N-O.
Z? No.
N-O.
Not a word.
H-O-L-E.
Okay, Jeanette?
Loan, L-O-N-E.
Okay, L-O-N-E. That's a word. Good.
I have a better word though.
Say it. All right. Okay.
Z-O-O. But I have to use.
Good. We run out of time. Okay. And okay, children, you listen. This is a very good game. We didn't get the total score. By the end of the show, we'll let you know
Actually, we
what the
have the
total
total.
score. Okay?
We do have
You do? Oh, okay.
boys.
Now, for the girls, 16 words is 296 points. For the boys, is 14 words, but 315 points. So it's only 20 points or so difference, 19 points difference. Okay? Very, very close game. Very good. Good game. Good job. Good job. Okay. Now, I want you boys and girls to watch the next half an hour. We'll introduce a new game. Although this new game is meant for older kids, but you are such a smart players, I'm sure you're going to catch this very, very well. Okay? Shall we start that new game? And thank you for helping us. Okay. Good. Okay, this new game obviously is based on the scramble cards and the scramble process, and the whole idea is making words. Now, why we say this is make this game for older kids? Because we want to help kids to learn or be familiar with chemistry. This game sort of is triggered by the last week when I attended a high school open house, and a chemistry teacher says, your boys now 10th grade is starting to learn chemical periodic table, and that's the hardest part. Sometimes you know a lot of memorization and to keep track of the symbols. So that sort of triggered me into thinking about this new game, and I'd like to introduce that to you. Okay? Now, in order to explain this game, I have prepared a number of slides in a screen technology to show you what we mean by a chemical word scramble game. In fact, the name, we'll think of the name to name this game, but let's just introduce the concept first, and then we will show you. Okay? Can we have the first screen? Yeah. Okay. In front of me, it's a periodic table. Now, for high school kids, for kids that are in a more advanced level, they are familiar with this chemical table. It's not quite organized very neatly because the screen is limited on the television. You can see on the left side, on the top, is hydrogen and helium. And usually this helium is all the way, right, on this side rather than close together. You have hydrogen, helium on the two ends. But we just want to illustrate this. These chemical names are represented by alphabets. Hydrogen is H, helium is He, and so on. And coming down, you have lithium, you have barium and boron and carbon and nitrogen and oxygen, so on and so forth. So these are chemical symbols. Now, some of them very easy to remember. You sort of daily, sort of get to use. for example, oxygen and things like this. But a lot of chemical symbols are very rarely used, therefore it's difficult to remember. And for students in high school learning this periodic table, sometimes it's difficult. Okay? So this game is introduced to help people get familiar with this chemical symbols. Okay? So you can see coming down, rows of rows. Some are single character, some are double character as symbols for a chemical. Now, in the case of 2 letters, usually the second letter is lowercase. Okay, lowercase. For example, let's give an example somewhere like Fe, right? In the middle somewhere, Fe, that's iron, is capital F, lowercase e. So, now, this is the periodic table. Now, we guarantee you, if you play this game a few times, you get all the symbols in your head. You probably never forget it. All right? Let's have the next screen. All right? This screen is leading you to this game, how the game is played. In English words, there are only 104 2-letter words. Okay? For example, be is verb to be, be. That happens to be a chemical symbol, right? Be. Or another letter, for example, I think Li. Li in 2-letter word in English, in fact, is a borrowed word from Chinese, is mileage. Okay, a mile, li. And that is Li, but it's chemical symbol. So for English words, the 2-letter words are very limited. It's only 100-something. It's easily you can remember them. But chemical symbols in the periodic table so far is up to 118. Seem to be difficult to remember because it has some kind of a arbitrary combination of letters. Sometimes are 2 consonants, so it's hard to remember. Okay. Now we introduced the game by looking at English words that can be sort of dissected into chemical symbols. I'll give you an example on the A. Let's say this word, in the A, you have a word, say, algebras. Everybody in high school knows what's algebras, right? The algebra word can be broken down to Al, which is aluminum, Ge is germanium, Br is bromium, As is arsenic, right? So fundamentally, that English word algebras is equivalent to 4 chemical symbols. Not every word can be dissected in that way because, sometimes you don't have the right chemical symbol, but quite a number of words in English can be dissected. For example, this table is to give you example. Like B, I happen to just pick a banana. Banana is Ba, which is barium, okay? Na is sodium, so barium, sodium, sodium is a banana. So this is the way to make a game, and quite interesting. That is, you represent English words with chemical symbols. So if you write banana, you could say barium, sodium, sodium. And people know about it and know this game and would understand, oh, you're talking about banana, right? So you could almost create this like a secret language that represent English words by chemical symbols. Now, go down here, C, for example, okay? That is a word cosine. Cosine is a word in trigonometry, and that can be, again, dissected into C-O-S-I-N-E. And D, we have this dynamo. And E here, like Aaron, okay? And next, and gasoline, or down H is health, and so on. Okay? Let's have a next slide quickly so we can get to the game. Next slide shows, again, I-K-L-M-N-O-P-R. Again, I show some example words, like I here is investigate. Investigate can be Indian vanadium, okay, ES, and TIGATE, all these are symbols, okay? And here, next one, that is kinder, okay? So this slide shows you again every letter. You always can find words in that category that can be represented by chemical symbols. Okay, next one. This STUVWXY, okay? Let's go to the bottom Y. Y, you can have this yoga, okay, which is a word. Now, the only 3 letters that doesn't have an English word that can be dissected into chemicals is in the category JQZ. So JQZ, when they come up, you basically stuck. You don't have any way to find an English word or create an English word, use those symbols. Okay? So this 3 slides basically just show you the examples. Let's go to next slide. Okay? Now I'm going to use this screen to show you how do you play this kind of game. The first game I would call it like a puzzle. Okay? A puzzle means when the number of letters come up, you try to build a pyramid structure of words out of those letters. But there's one rule to make this game sort of as a chemical word game, is that the first 2 letters has to be a chemical, that's on the top. And when you build down, the last word must be dissectable into chemical symbols. Okay? So let's see how we do this. Now we have AEILMORS come up as 8 letters. Okay? How do you think about it? First you say, oh, what are the 1-letter, 2-letter symbols that are chemicals? Okay? You can see the AL, for example, is aluminum. That certainly can be a 2-letter to start with. Or you can start with MO, which is molybdenum. You can do that. So I have done this now on the screen to show you. These are the symbols, are chemicals. Iodine, oxygen, sulfur, aluminum. This American, this is named after American, so I don't, this is a symbol, AM, argon, arsenic, all right, erbium, and so on. And these are chemical letters that you can start with as a 2-letter word. But you need to build 2, 4, 6, 8. End up with an 8-letter word, and that 8-letter word has to be basically chemical symbols. Okay? All right, let's move on. So, from this list, now, hope you can see, let's say we start with aluminum, AL, as the 2-letter to begin with. So we can build from AL downward, okay? Pick 2 other letters to make 4-letter word. However, the rule is relaxed here a bit, is that in the process of building longer words, you do not have to stick to this all-chemical formula, because sometimes it's very hard to add a 1 letter and still remain as chemical letters, chemical symbols. So let's see what we have. The second one here, AL, we can add a lot of letters here to make a 2-letter word. Happen to be, we choose, say, M and E. From AL to male, okay? By the way, AL is chemical symbol, but also, in Scrabble, you can play 2-letter word though. So, MALE is a 4-letter word, added M at the beginning, E at the end. Now you want to continue on, add 2 more letters, okay? 2 more letters. In this case, let's say you now you add O and R and make the male into morale. Okay? That is a 6-letter word. Now, the last one will be the challenge word. You have to make a 8-letter word, yet they are all chemical symbols. Okay? M-O-R-A-L-E, I-S-E, moralize. Now, that is an 8-letter word. And you can see the purple letters and below to show you the 4 chemical symbols that is representing this word is M-O-R-A-L-I-S-E. Okay? Se, the selenium. Okay, so that's example. How do you play puzzle? So when you play scramble cards, you can deal yourself, say, A letters and so forth, and then you sit down and say, well, how do I build this chemical word puzzle? And challenge your brain to think about it, okay? And by playing this game, you will sort of register these chemical symbols. All right, let's go on to the next, okay? Stick to this example to show you there's more than one solution for this. Because we started with Al, you certainly can pick, oh, I want to start with Ar, which is argon, right? Argon is Ar. Now, you can also start with other 2-letter word here, as an example showing here, okay? Am and so forth, or As. So when you play this game, you can pick your own choice. You can start, playing this in multiple ways. All right. After you pick the AR, you go to the second level. So I want to build up to 4-letter word. You say, add SO. That's SO is sore, right? That is the second level. Okay, let's move on. Third level. Remember last time we had AL, male, and the morale. Here, for sore, you say, well, I can make molars, right? Stick the sore 4 letters, and you added M and L, right? Yeah. You add M and L, you make molars. And then continue on, only 2 letters left, okay? You again end up with this moralize. Of course, sometimes you don't have to end up the same 8-letter word. It could be another 8-letter word that has 4 chemical symbols that can be dissected into 4 chemical symbols. So this is a puzzle game based on the Scramble thinking. How do you build longer and longer word? Okay, let's move on. Okay, now pretending now we are playing a Scramble game here, but we now added a rule. You must build chemical symbols to start with. And when you steal, okay, you must steal or add letters, make longer words, still remaining to be chemical symbols, okay, chemical word. So when the letter B comes up, I comes up, that's bismuth is a chemical symbol. You can take that away and say Bi. Okay? Now, the way we play, let's say 4 people play, the P1, P2 on this side, and the P3, P4, 4 people play. When the Bi comes up, the first person say, I claim Bi, okay? And more letters come up. Whoever deals this, say T, E, R come up. The other players can either make words, for example, like 2-letter word TE, or add to BI and make longer words. Now, this screen shows you the 4th player choose to make TE. So the TER is he took the TE. Then continue on with more letters coming up. L and A come up. Now, when LA come up, the 3rd player, P3, took TE, add LA, made a word late. Obvious that is an English word, but it also is a chemical word, LANTE. Okay? This is lanthanum and TE. All right. So next screen, okay, shows continued with letters coming up. So M comes up, okay, S come up, and L, and so on. All right. In this case, now remember when you see the letter is crossing out, it means somebody is taking those 2 letters and make either a chemical symbol or a chemical word. Now this time the 2nd player, P2, took Li, make a lithium, and claimed it. Okay. So what's left is M, S, R on the board. Okay, then let's continue on with more letters. And when M, S, R left on the board, the first player recognized the SM is a chemical symbol, so he claims that word, claimed SM. So that's crossed out here, okay? So again, continue on, letters are dealt, okay? A comes up, R comes up, right? Or R was there at this point. Now, how this, people that the players sort of either steal or make words depending what letters you have, okay? Let's see how creative these players are. Let's go to next slide, okay? This obviously sometimes is a little stretching. Sometimes it's not easy to come up with this solution. But this fourth player obviously is pretty good with vocabulary and this chemical word game. He came up with the bilateralism. He stole everybody else's letters, the lithium, there's the bismuth and lanthanum and TeSM, all these chemical symbols they put together, bilateralism. Okay, stole everybody else's. Okay, of course, when you get to that good, you are very good. Not only very good in this Scramble word game, but you are very good with chemistry. Okay, so this is an illustration of if you play Scramble word game and you just simply add a little rule, say, well, let's play chemical word, and you can do that. Okay? All right, let's continue on. See a next example. Do I have another screen? Okay. So this game continues on. More letters come up. A-R-T-I-C. Okay. Here, in this case, S-I, silicon, is taken by the second player, P2. Okay. Let's move on again. More letters. Okay. R-A is taken by the first player as a symbol. So T is left. Okay. Now, two more letters dealt is P and A. Okay. All right. Now, PA is a symbol, and that's taken away by the second player. Okay, around here. So second player has silicon and the PA. All right. Next. All right. E and T remaining now, right? When the E comes up. And now, remember, the first player has RA, second player has SI and PA, and third player doesn't have any, and the fourth player still has the bilateralism, which is pretty safe. It's hard to steal something that long and by adding letters to it. Okay? Let's move on to next. Okay? So the third player didn't have anything under tremendous pressure or stress. Finally striked. He says, I'm going to steal the RA and the SI and the PA, and with the ET on the board, okay, he made a word, parasite. Parasite is P-A-R-A-S-I-T-E. That is very impressive. He stole every chemical symbols other people have made and combined them and made a word, parasite. Okay? So you can see that's how the game proceeds. And of course, more people play, more fun. And you can steal back and forth, words from short words like the example we had before, from short words like late, and then you add letters to it and a longer word and so forth. Okay? So this is a chemical word game, and maybe we should call it Scramble chemical word or whatever. And this game can be played in classroom. It can be played at home, and of course is designed for older kids that now into chemistry. But you can see it's not difficult and it's easy to play, just like any word game that we play. The younger kids can learn from this, can play with the older kids. When some symbol is made, they can ask, what is this? What is BI? What is, LA and so on, then that will make an impression on the younger kids, and therefore they will learn the chemical symbols. So this is a game that somehow it's an extension from our Scramble Word Game, as I have always telling the players in the Scramble Word Games, there's almost unlimited ways of playing this game. We are still continuously inventing. The book that we first published, there's some 20-some ways of playing it. Playing Scramble Mahjong, Scramble Poker, Scramble Bingo, and puzzles, and so on and so forth. And now we're adding this chemical word game. Okay, hopefully some of the high school kids would start playing this game. And I think it's quite a bit fun. And of course, in this game, also you can use those points on the letters and calculate points and so on, and determine your score and see whether you win or lose, and make the game more interesting. So next week, or following this show, we'll continue to bring you either new games, or inviting guests, or having children to come to play in the studio. Okay. As far as this studio production is concerned, we like to make an announcement. That is, we now begin to do the production on Thursdays rather than Fridays, as we always done in the past. The reason is the Fridays are very, very busy day. Most people have a lot of activities, and it's very difficult to get guests, to get children players to come here Friday. And also it's difficult for us to get our professional cameramen and these heroes behind the show, names like Tony, John, all these guys spend hours volunteer in this show to produce this for our community. So we switched to Thursday. Hopefully we will be able to get more children to participate, as well as to get our crew members to continue to help us and support us. And this game will continue to grow. As we set out to do in the beginning, we think the game, once it's taking off in the classroom, in the school, it will grow, exponentially. Because you people out there, when you play, ideas will come to you. When ideas come to you, you will invent. You create new ways of playing it. And you don't have to stick to just 20, 30 games that we now know. New games will come up. Okay? We now actually have some games I have not even introduced yet, but it's on my sort of a drawing board. I have games that can be played like Monopoly. We call Scramble Monopoly. Okay? These things, in time, we will bring it out to the studio and introduce to the public. Okay? So, hope you enjoy this hour, and we'd like to thank again Cablevision, public channel, to give us the time and support us with the facility, and we try to improve our skills in terms of utilizing the facility. Hopefully, like the screen technology and other things can be eventually improved, so that we have a more high-tech supported game show for our communities. Thank you for watching.